In the Nairobi informal settlement of Kibera, most casual laborers earn a little more than $3 a day. And this 2-kilogram bag of maize meal that an average family consumes every 2 days costs more than a third of that. Maize meal is used to make ugali, a staple food that is especially popular in informal settlements. Prices for maize, cooking oil, and other basic goods have doubled, and in some cases tripled, over the past 7 years. Analysts cite the weather, the country's poor infrastructure, corruption, and post-election violence as some of the factors contributing to the increases. Nicholas Gumbo is a member of Kenya's parliament.
At the very worst, a family has to take a mug of porridge, a family has to take a plate or two of ugali, a family has to take sukuma wiki. And what you're saying is that that basic requirement to sustain life has to be affordable for everybody.
Gumbo seconded the price control bill. It allows the government to set prices for essential goods and establishes penalties of up to 5 years in prison for those who purchase or sell these goods at higher prices. Gumbo says producers and manufacturers are largely to blame for the dramatic price increases.
We do understand that they are in business to make profit. What we are up against is cartels that set up prices that are definitely beyond the reach of the common man.
Producers argue they cannot be blamed for cost increases of inputs such as fertilizers, electricity, and transportation. And they fear the government will not factor in these costs when setting prices. Moses Ikiata is Executive Director of the Kenya Institute for Public Policy Research and Analysis.
Producers who find that they cannot break even under the new prices may move either into other sectors or move out of the country altogether to go and invest elsewhere. So that is one big risk, unless there was, of course, if the people setting the price were able to come to with the optimal price that is able to do, then there wouldn't be a lot of that challenges.
If producers produce less or stop altogether, the supply of basic commodities will decrease and hurt the poor even more, says Betty Maina, Chief Executive of the Kenya Manufacturers Association.
How they could even be via the main retail chains, because in the end, they'd like to be able to sell. So the idea is like, if there's a scarcity, then in little shops and stuff where you sell these goods, and sometimes it's not available, but if you come and visit me at the back of the shop, yes, you'll get it, but you'll get it for twice the price.
Moses Ikiara says the development of a common market through the East African community makes price controls unnecessary in Kenya.
We would have expected a lot of food to come from surplus countries, Uganda, maybe Tanzania in some cases, to be able to come into Kenya. And when you get now more supply, that would have been able to reduce our supply challenge, and that would have been able to bring the prices down.
He says that, as a member of the East African community, Kenya cannot unilaterally decide to impose price controls without other countries' consent. Analysts and industry leaders say one long-term solution is for the government to look at why the costs of producing essential goods are so high. Then it can subsidize the cost of fertilizers and other agricultural inputs and lift import duties on scarce goods. They say the government also can institute policies to enable more suppliers to enter the market. Ikiata says in the short term, he thinks targeted interventions such as food vouchers or food for work programs would help the poor. Cathy Majtenyi for VOA News, Nairobi.